there's, you know, rumor. There's things that people say about me. Some of them are true, some of them aren't. And one thing that pops up all the time is this business, you know, with me and Sesame Street. There's, you know, well, it's true. I was on Sesame Street. I was asked to contribute a few years back. I was probably about 24 or 25 years old. And they asked, and then the next day, without asking any questions, I just showed up and I did what they asked me. No questions asked. They wanted to do this thing about helping your parents shop for groceries. It's called the grocery store rap. And they kind of told me that what they wanted to do was to update the old classic loaf of bread, carton of milk, stick of butter thing. And wow, that was exciting to me, because that was a staple for me as a kid. And I did it, and shortly after, the Sesame Street put it into rotation, and they play the spot. But you know, after that, it had a weird psychological effect, because that's a feather in your cap, man, to say that you were on Sesame Street. And I don't know, you know, I started to think, I'll never top that. Why don't I just quit right now? You know, like, oh man, like, it's over. I mean, Sesame Street, what, now what? You know, I've done the grocery store rap, and what did I do to deserve that? Why'd they pick me? Of all the rappers in the world, you know, me, because they told me they wanted a rapper, and they picked me. And I, you know, later I thought, how did they get my name? Because there's no way they asked other people first and they said, no, I don't think so. We're talking about Sesame Street here, you know? Who would say no to that? And it worked on my brain, like night after night. I just couldn't sleep. Why me? You know, Sesame Street. You know, the amount of cookies alone that I ate with Cookie Monster that day, you know, I'm in debt. So finally one day, you know, I was losing my mind, and I called them. I said, you gotta tell me, man, why did you pick me? You know, of all people. Was it random? You know, the best I could think, it was random. They just had, like, the name of every rapper cataloged, and they just hit random, and my name popped up, and I won the lottery. Yeah, that's the best I could think. What else, you know? And they said, you don't want to know. You don't want to know, young man. And I said, look, I can't sleep at night. You gotta tell me. Please, I mean, for the love of God, you know, I'll give you the money back. You gotta tell me. He's like, you really want to know, huh? You want to know? You want to know, hotshot? All right. Don't say we didn't warn you. We'll tell you. Now, as a matter of fact, our process of picking was very scientific, indeed, not random at all. We got help from CSIS, the CIA, the Masons. Our search was thorough. So we had done a little background check on you. We'd heard you make the odd claim here and there, you know, behind closed doors, that you had never done drugs, never smoked a cigarette, never tasted alcohol. We thought that was intriguing, checked up on that to find out that was true. Thought that sets a good example for the kids. Not a lot of people can say that. That was, you know, step number one. And I thought to myself, awesome, I've never really been political about those decisions, but maybe there was a part of me somehow that thought that might have some kind of reward someday or something. Well, there you go. And they said, you know, secondly, we wanted someone, you know, intelligent. And I thought, but he's, but not too smart. Because, you know, the kids, you know, they have a hard time relating to someone who kind of comes off as being, you know, superior to them in some way. We've tested this thoroughly, so, you know, just the right combination between dumb and smart is what we were looking for. I'm like, oh, okay. And then they said, you know, we needed someone, based on what the kids respond to in our studies, we needed someone of below average attractiveness. So I'm like, okay, fine. And then they said, now this is, now bear in mind, what did I say? I was about 25. They said, not a lot of people know this. Don't tell anyone. Remember, the Masons are involved. Everyone who's ever made a contribution to Sesame Street has been a virgin. And after we narrowed the field down based on all those criteria, you were the last man standing. So it really didn't have much to do with being awesome. It had to do with being like, just not awesome enough. You know? Like perfectly average and lame, basically, you know. So there you go. Next time you see the grocery store app, you'll know more than you ever really wanted to about the whole thing. They had to write the piece, and they wouldn't allow me to write it because, again, the experts in the CIA and so on, they didn't let me tamper with it too much. But it was clever. There was a line, I don't know if anyone's seen it, but there's a line in it, to me, which is just really kind of, I don't know, bonkers, kind of, you know, John Waters or something. There's a line that goes, "Dad passed me some meat," and something popped in my head. Oh yeah, almost forgot the bread. Meat, Dad passed me some meat. And then there's another line about when you're in the vegetable section about fresh beets. They thought they were clever with the fresh beets.